Welcome to Guided Life, where we meet our personal guidance team and learn how to work with our unseen crew of spiritual sidekicks. Your guides are ready and waiting for you to tap into their wisdom, help, and build the life you truly want. Host Shannon Ratay is a life and career coach, angel messenger, and medium who is known for her unique gifts of delivering messages from our collective team, including angels, fairies, and other helpers. Shannon leads you through each episode with spiritual downloads, energetic transmissions, powerful visualizations, and more, helping you tap into your own tuition to strengthen your confidence and connection. Shannon's calling is to empower you to create an extraordinary life. And now, here's your host of Guided Life, Shannon Ratay.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the first show of 2026. My name is Shannon Ratay, and I am your host of Guided Life, where each month we take a journey to explore an aspect of working with our guidance team. Because as so many of you know, we have these really interesting collection of wise beings who love working with us, whether it's our angels, our guides, our ancestors, you name it. We have this really sweet collection of aspects of spirit who love working with us and helping us create extraordinary lives. And so I'm really excited today. For those of you that have been tuning in each month, we've been going aspect by aspect of particular members of our guidance team. So we've done angels, we've done fairies, we've taken a deep dive in working with our animal helpers. So we've established some really great relationships with the different members of our guidance team. And today, what we're going to do instead is take a deep dive into an aspect of working with all of them, which is learning more about clairaudience and being able to hear the messages that they're giving us. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. But in the meantime, I am going to go ahead and say hello to some of you. So many great friends of the show. I do always appreciate when you're here. Welcome, Michelle Olivier. Welcome, Jennifer Rose. You might have just been around, but I just wrapped up Messages from the Enchanted Realm with Jennifer Rose. We had a great show. Welcome, Erica. So great to see you, Courtney and Lois, and me and my shadow. I do like your name. Vivian, so good to see you. Aloha, my friend. Great to see you, Giovanni and Braden, and let's see, who else? Nezzy. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. Now, I think the thing to know today is with this particular show, how things are going to go. In the beginning, we're going to talk a little bit about clairaudience and what I mean by that and the various clairs, because it's just one of many ways that we get to connect with our guidance team. After we talk a bit about clairaudience, we are going to move into a presencing exercise. So we'll work together to get into our bodies. After we do that, I am going to go ahead and give an energetic transmission. If you've been here before, you know that is when I simply energetically share the information that my system knows and my system, the way my system experiences, and in this case, it's clairaudience, so that your system gets to learn directly from my system via energetic transmission. And I have had with the energetic transmission of sharing the information I know and my system knows about clairaudience pretty quickly, people begin to recognize and hear their guidance team for themselves. Pretty much 24 hours later, it starts to kick up. So I'm really excited to share that with you. And then from there, we'll practice what we have been learning and exposed to. And we're going to move into a visualization where you get to practice your own skill set, deepen your own connection with your guidance team. And then after we've done all that, depending on how much time is left at the end, we will move into readings. Yeah. Hello, Allison. Hi, Amy. Amy Jones. Hi, Jennifer. We've got Jennifer McCormick in the house. And Mandy Johnson. I know Mandy was just at the last show as well. And I think, yep, there's Jeffrey. Jeffrey, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate all the support every single time. And Labyrinthian Criterion, also a great name. Oh, Mandy says it's her first time. Welcome, Mandy. Hopefully it will not be your last time. And for those of you that it is your first time, knowing that you can always go back and listen to the recordings, that some of the recordings are really great, especially for the visualizations, if you are desiring a deeper connection with some of the various members of your guidance team. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump right in to talking about the clairs. So as we've been discussing with our guidance team, there are various ways that we can connect with them. And for many of us, we have a primary natural way that we connect with our guidance team and receive their messages and their wisdom. And then some, sort of sub ways, right? Some ways that come in to support our primary way. It just so happens that my primary way is clairaudience, which means that I actually hear voices, and we'll take a deeper dive into the way that my clairaudience shows up. But I figure before we talk about that, we'll talk about the wide variety of ways that our guidance team can communicate with us. And in fact, there are 8 different ways. There are 8 clairs. So clair number 1, and it's the one I think that might be spoken about most commonly, is clairvoyance, right? So that clear sense of vision. And for most people, clairvoyance is when we get sent or we see pictures from our guidance team. So maybe it's pictures of what you might be supposed to be doing next, or pictures of who's getting in touch with you. That is often so much in the media and on shows, right? When they give us an idea of psychics, that they get these visions of the future, what's happened. And sometimes it can be literal pictures, or sometimes it can be symbolic pictures. But I think a lot of us are already familiar with clairvoyance. And I assume that there's many of you that clairvoyance is your primary clair. Clair number 2, claircognizance. Claircognizance is that just clear sense of inner knowing. Sometimes people just suddenly know the answer to what's going to happen or what has happened in the past, but that clear sense of inner knowing. I personally find that people whose primary clair is claircognizance sometimes don't know. It might be later in the game that they recognize that is their guidance team working with them, because it just feels like a part of them and not separate. It can be a little bit more challenging for the people with claircognizance to understand that is their guidance team working directly with them. And that's where that inner sense of knowing comes from. Clair number 3, clairsentience. Clairsentience is that clear sense of feeling, and especially feeling information in your body. For a lot of people who are body workers, right? They'll feel their own sense of tightness in their shoulders. Like they'll feel in their body first the places that they're supposed to work on. For a lot of mediums, psychic mediums, what they'll do if they are scanning, they'll get information in their bodies and feel it. Maybe how a loved one might have passed away, or especially for like medical intuitives, they might feel that sense in their bodies around medically, but they feel it in their own body first. Number 4, we're kind of going in order of popularity for lack of a better word, what we might be most familiar with is clairaudience, right? That clear sense of healing. And that's what we'll be talking mostly about today. And oftentimes people can think clairaudience is actually more complicated than it is. And in the course of my travels, I found out that a lot of people do have their own version of clairaudience. They just don't realize that that's what it is. So we'll talk more soon. We also have clairtangency, right? That clear sense of touch. And for some people, what that means is they can touch an object and get information from simply touching an object. On the chance that you've watched, Tyler Henry and his show and the way that he works, where he'll have people bring an object and he'll touch it and he'll get information about a loved one through that object. And I have a good friend, and she is a ceramicist, and she's same, right? Well, so she's making objects out of clay, and then she can go ahead and touch other objects and get information about those objects simply by touching them. Number 6, clairsalience. Clairsalience is a clear sense of smell. And for a lot of people, clairsalience comes in as a support mechanism to other clairs that they have. So that can be sometimes walking in a room and getting that sense of smell around maybe cigarette smoke, if you have a loved one that used to smoke. I was once doing a reading for a person and got a big whiff of hairspray. And so I said to the woman that I was speaking with, right, like, well, who do you know who wore a lot of hairspray? And she's like, oh, yeah, that was my mom. My mom wore a lot of hairspray. Clairsalience is not my primary, but every so often I'll get these waves of smell that will come through as a nice support mechanism to, be the explanation point or the period to confirm a particular loved one that I'm speaking with, and even my own guidance team, right, will get my attention sometimes with, a smell that doesn't make sense with wherever I am, that I know it's my guidance team getting a hold of me. Number 7, clairgustance, which is a clear sense of taste. That's similar to the clairsalience, where sometimes that will come in to support other bits of information, most often in the realm of like psychic mediumship, where, getting a sense of taste to help support a reading or give more information around a reading. You might think of, I think I was giving a reading once and all of a sudden got the taste of like bubble gum in my mouth. So like, oh yeah, who do you know that used to chew bubble gum? Or when I'm playing with my guides when I'm cooking, right, where I'm trying to decide what ingredients to put in something, it's a fun way to play with my guidance team. And sometimes I'll get a sense of taste in my mouth, and that's the way that they're communicating to me what to add to a dish. And last but not least, number 8, clairempathy, which is a clear sense of emotions. And in this case, we want to differentiate. It's not uncommon for people who are empaths to have a sense of clairempathy, but we're defining that a little bit differently this time, in that oftentimes our guides can come in and send us a rush of emotion, right? Can send us a bit of emotion to either get our attention where they are working with us. Maybe if you get like a nice big rush of love, or a nice big rush of a sense of being held or being supported or sweetness, that can be one of the ways that our guides and guidance team get a hold of us and let us know that they're present and that they want to be in communication with us. So then, just to think, if anyone wants to start sharing in the comments what your primary clair is. We just ran through the 8 of them, and I'll go through them quickly one more time. Clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience, clairtangency, clairsalience, clairgustance, and clairempathy. I think it's clairsalience. I keep wanting to sing salience. Clairgustance and clairempathy. That if you have a primary one, or a way that you normally work with the clairs and your guidance team and your psychic abilities, I'd love to know, because sometimes sharing what your primary is can help spark an idea for somebody else. Um, yeah. And as I've been running through that list, we've got some more people who have shown up. So welcome everyone who's shown up since we've started. Allison, so good to see you here. Tracy, hi back to Scotland. Thanks so much for being here. I know it's late there in Scotland. Kweezy, welcome. Catherine, Denise, Sherry, let's see. Lois says, I think my primary is claircognizance, the knowing. Sometimes I think I hear my dad's voice, but I'm not sure if that's my mind. I'm so glad you said that, Lois, right? Because you're right. So often with clairaudience, people think it's just my imagination. They think, oh gosh, it's sort of like I'm just making it up. And my recommendation for all of you that are like, oh, yeah, I think I hear a voice, but hey, is that just my imagination? To continue to lean into it, because that was exactly what was happening to me. So, the way that I began to realize that I was clairaudient, was in the way that I developed a lot of my abilities, which was from my coaching practice. So during the day, I am a life coach. I specialize in career coaching and job search and helping people find jobs. And what I noticed with my clients initially is that my questions are always being fed to me. So whenever I am coaching a client and it comes time to ask my next question from my client, I will hear the question first, and the question gets fed to me. And I just thought this was the case for everyone, that everyone was hearing a voice in the background that was feeding them information or feeding them questions in my case. And finally one day I decided to stop and just sort of ask, right? Like, where is this voice coming from? Where are these questions? Where are these questions coming from? And it was then that I really began to lean into that and really look for other places where that voice was present as well. And that basically changed my whole world, right? Changed my whole world. And so much of what I'm sharing today is what I've learned by myself, piece wheel by piece wheel. And I'm loving what you all are sharing in the comments, right? We've got some clairvoyance, we've got some claircognizance. And so you're right that many of us have a whole bunch. We might have a primary or something that we lean into or we're most used to trusting. And then as we trust it more and more, that we'll get other methods of communication that'll come in as support. Since clairaudience is my primary, every so often I will get supportive images. I will get supportive moments of claircognizance, of just that inner knowing. But it's not necessarily my primary and my go-to, but the other ones have come online as I've leaned into it. And yeah, so good to see all of you contributing. So absolutely, you can have a few of them. It is absolutely possible. And what's great is even if you have a primary and one that you naturally use, you can continue to develop your others and lean into your other ones. Now, for me, clairaudience comes through. Clairaudience comes through like a separate voice. I hear a voice, and it's almost like turning over to a radio channel and hearing either a dialogue and in moments, what it can also feel like is I can sometimes get a huge download of information. And so I'll hear a whole, download, and I'll hear it, hey, Shannon, here's what's coming next for you. You really need to be aware of X, Y, and Z that's going on. Or the clairaudience can sometimes come through if I'm writing something. Every so often, I was doing a reading for someone whose guide wanted to get a message to them. And their guide was like, I really want to work together to write a letter. So I sat down to write a letter with this person's guide to give to the person who their guide was trying to get in touch with them. And so it's like I heard a dictation. So sometimes that free writing or journaling, or, you know, if you've done the artist way, you can the your morning artist pages, that can be a great way to invite in the clairaudience and a way of working with your clairaudience. But I don't want you to think that that is the only way. If you're not hearing a voice, that you don't have clairaudient abilities. Because what's really fun is some people have clairaudience through songs, right? That you might ask for. I'll just stop for right there. I'll answer Lois's question. She said, that's amazing. And it's so helpful to hear this from someone else. Can I ask how old you were when you started noticing your abilities? You know, relatively speaking, I was definitely later in life. I was well into my 30s before I started to notice my abilities. I am not someone who grew up knowing I had an intuition. I was not someone who grew up having these sorts of conversations in my household. It was strictly from starting my coaching practice, which I started in my mid 30s. And the vast majority of this really got the dial turned up on it, where I began to recognize that the things that I was just bypassing as, oh gosh, you know, yeah, my questions are being fed to me, or, oh yeah, I sense a presence in the room, but I'm sure that's my imagination, right? Like that clairsentience. Oh, I just sense a cold spot in the room, or I sense a presence. I just thought it was nothing. So it was much later in life, versus people will say, oh yeah, I grew up just knowing, like I grew up knowing that I was different, or I grew up knowing I had these abilities. That was not me. It's been very much step by step, which is part of the reason I do this show, is because it's sometimes just these confirmations, that from other people around us, the confirmation that we're sensing something deeper or different, then can skyrocket our already existing awareness. Can skyrocket our awareness of our already existing abilities, right? Just abilities we didn't even know we had, which was definitely what was going on in my case. So yeah. And then flipping back to clairaudience, right? Like you may have thought of a loved one in spirit, or you might have had a question or something you were pondering, and then suddenly a song came on the radio that gave you an answer or reminded you of a person and helped you know that that loved one was near, or helped answer a question that you were wondering about. So that song coming on the radio and giving you the answer to your question, that's a form of clairaudience. So some people work really closely with music and getting messages through music. Other people can hear, sometimes they'll hear like a bell chiming in their inner self, and it's like that bell chiming or that hum or that noise. That's the confirmation of a yes. How I might hear, if I ask a question, I'll hear an internal yes or no, but somebody else might hear the ding of a bell as their confirmation of a yes. Or Jennifer Rose is really famous, if you've been ever listened to her shows on the regular, where she gets the knocks, where she'll hear a knock of confirmation. And so there are all different forms of clairaudience, which can be the unique ways that you are getting, the unique ways that you're getting clairaudient information. Oh, Maria, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you found my reading to be accurate. Yeah. So part of this is just practice, right? That ability to practice, that ability to start listening and hearing how your own clairaudience shows up for you. And just, let's see. Ooh, Jennifer McCormick. My primary clairs are clairsentience, clairvoyance, and claircognizance. More recently, clairaudience through meditation, and my partner spoke through someone to warn me of something. Great example, Jennifer. Really great example. our guidance team can find all sorts of creative ways to get through to us. Because at the end of the day, it's all just energy. And so it's that unique way that our systems work with the energy that's being provided to us, whether turning that energy into inner knowing or turning that energy into, a sensation, or all of the variety of things that we just talked about. Yeah. And so let's see. I think the important thing to say right now is just a reminder that when we are getting information in the clairaudient form, when it is coming from our guides and our guidance team, it is always warm, it is always supportive, it is always empowering. Like, our guidance team is working with us. And if you ever get the sense, some sort of like not positive, not supportive, that is not your guidance team. Don't argue with it. Don't pay it much attention. Just to continue to sit and wait and look for the supportive, empowering messages. Sometimes we have a default habit, I'll just say, of running information through our amygdala, and so running it through amygdala response, and so it can be that fight, flight, or freeze, and so it can be a misinterpretation of the messages. So just to say, right, that if for whatever reason it's not feeling warm and supportive and empowering, just to give it a moment and look for the warm and the supportive messages. That our guidance team never devalues us. It never does anything to our, never devalues or diminishes our sense of self-worth. So just to sit tight and wait for those messages and go looking, to go looking for the positive reinforcing messages. And Maria says, sometimes I get sights. Exactly right. That clairvoyance, getting those pictures, whether they're real or metaphorical. All right. So welcome, everyone. Hello, I'm seeing Cindy, Peace Be Still. I'm seeing Kay Weezy. So good to see you. Oh, I wonder why I've been getting dreams from my grandma. She passed away last month. Kawizi, that is another form of clairvoyance. Dreams are one way that people use their clairvoyant abilities. Now, your clairaudience might show up in your dreams as well if you're hearing in your dreams, but definitely those pictures that are leaking through and coming through in our dreams, that can be a really great way when our resistance and the competition for our brains is less. So welcome everyone that I have not said hello to just yet. What we're going to do is we are now going to transition. We are going to take a moment and we're going to get present and come into our bodies, just getting us ready for the energetic transmission that will follow. That energetic transmission will be where I share the information that my system knows about clairaudience to support you in the development of your own. Hi, Allison. And then after, we will do about a 10-minute visualization where you can practice some of your abilities, your clairaudient abilities, by calling forth a member of your guidance team who would like to be in communication with you in a clairaudient sort of way. So then, taking that moment to find a place and settle in so that we can be in our bodies and get present. We're starting off with just a simple presencing exercise. I'll be doing it along with you. Taking a deep breath or two. And as you're taking that deep breath, noticing either your feet on the ground or noticing your butt in the seat, or noticing your back in the chair, using all those places of contact to connect with your body and be in your body. As you're breathing, noticing your bones, because when you notice your bones, you're in your body. noticing your spine. And as you notice your spine, letting your attention begin where your spine meets your skull, the top of your neck. And simply letting your attention follow your spine down through your neck, your upper back, your mid back, and your lower back. In addition, noticing the bones in your arms and your hands, and noticing your bones in your legs and your feet. Because when you're in your bones, you're in your body. Noticing the bones in your head and your jaw. And once again, letting your attention follow your spine all the way down into your tailbone, where your tailbone magically turns into a tail that goes all the way down to the center of the earth. And as that tail travels all the way down to the center of the earth, it notices an interesting object down there, whether it's a crystal or a bone or a rock or some other interesting thing that it wraps itself around. So now you're in your bones and you've got your tail connected up to that object near the center of the earth. And suddenly you notice roots growing out of the bottom of your feet. And as deep as that tail goes, those roots coming out of your feet go just as far and wide down into the warm, nourishing earth. And that tail and that warm, nourishing earth become conduits that allow any warm, nourishing earth energy that wants to travel back up in those roots and that tail up into your system in just the right amount is able to occur. And on its own, in just the right amount, that warm earth, nourishing earth energy travels into your system. You notice that gentle earth energy traveling up through your body, finding the right spaces and places to fill you up. And as you're sitting here and that's happening, you also begin to call back in your sparkle. It might be that while you were out and about today, that you left some of your sparkle in other places, either with other people, maybe you left it at a different place, just welcoming it back, calling yourself back in. And as you're calling your sparkle back in, you might begin to notice how you've collected up someone else's sparkle, or maybe things that aren't quite as sparkly, and just inviting it to go back to where it came from. Using a broom and dusting out anything that's not you, right? Saying shoo to anything that's not a match and not you, but just sending back to its owner any sparkle that's not your own. As this continues to happen on its own, noticing your own personal little bubble around you, about arm's length around you, which is your own personal space. So between your sparkle and that warm, nourishing earth energy, you get to own and inhabit the space around you that is gently held by your own little snow globe bubble, your own energetic edge. And what's great about that energetic edge is it holds outside of your space anything that's not yours. It is a great little place that you get to inhabit. And for some people, it can be helpful to, make that edge a color or give it some texture, but just anything that makes it easier to sense and inhabit that energetic edge around you and be in your own space. So now that you're feeling your bones and have your sparkle and noticing your energetic edge, I am going to get together the energy for your energetic transmission that you get to receive. So as I'm pulling this together, the couple things to know. For those of you that have energy practices or are familiar with energy, just to know that this is an energetically held space, right? So there's an energetic container that is holding this space. Anything that is shared is only what is exactly right for your systems. So it has been tailored so that everyone is getting only what's right for them. With that in mind, what I am doing is I am putting together a little energy ball that contains what my system knows about clairaudience. And in a moment, I'm going to put that energy ball in front of you and allow you to receive through your hands. So simply putting your hands up and allow you to receive, if you'd like, the information that my system knows about clairaudience and the ways that my system knows about hearing our guidance team. And it's simply a different way to receive information, right? You're getting, clairaudient information or voice information by listening to me, and this is going to be a simple energetic transmission. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and hold this energy ball up for you to all receive, and you can simply put your hands up and allow the energy to be received through your hands. Okay, here it is. And in here that contains the joy and the satisfaction and the delight of being able to connect with my guidance team and other people's loved ones and guidance team. And I'm making it available to you. So simply by putting your hands up and noticing the energy in exactly the right amounts being accessed through your hands from this energy ball. Just simply noticing. Perhaps in your hands you might feel some tingling. Perhaps you might notice, just a hum in your hands, some other energetic sensation. But simply letting your system receive through your hands the energy of the knowledge that my system has of clairaudience. All right, just about winding down, allowing your system to receive. And if you haven't been able to receive today, not to worry, you can always do it on the replay. All right, transmission complete. Ooh, that was a good one. I could feel all the tingle in my hands. And I admit I'm noticing just a lot of joy and excitement. Your guides are excited to be in touch with you in this way. Kim Princess says her nose got itchy. Your nose is a receiver of energy. Great job, Kim Princess. Oh, Erica, super electric hands. Yeah, this one felt especially powerful. Mine felt especially tingly today too. Oh, and I'm so glad, Lois, that you got that tingling there as well. Really glad that you could feel all that energy. They're really excited to be in touch with you. And I was talking a moment about having an energetic container in place, right? Like this being a held space. And I wanted you all to know that part of that container is your guides getting you here, right? Like your guides and your team getting you here. And so you are all here on purpose because they have called you here and are excited to be available to you and in connection with you in this different way. Oh gosh. Oh, thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Courtney. And itchy nose too, Tracy. A bunch of itchy noses. It's kind of funny how it's sort of funny. My nose is getting itchy just sort of talking about it as I'm plugging my nose. All right. So as your systems are integrating, I'll be getting you prepared because we're going to be doing the visualization next so that your systems can begin practicing with your guides what you have just been learning. So sure, I'd love a massage too. So yeah, beginning to get yourself ready for the visualization. The visualization is going to last about 10 minutes. I recommend that you find a comfortable position. Some people like to be reclining, or if you have a meditation practice and a position that you like to meditate from, that can be also a great way to receive the information of the visualization. So getting yourself set, because I am going to be flipping over. I'll be reading a script and then we'll discuss at the end. So here we go. All right. So getting yourselves ready for this visualization. This is a guided visualization to build your awareness around your natural clairaudient abilities. Many people think that clairaudience is more complicated than it actually is. Clairaudience is simply one of the ways to connect with your guidance team that utilizes inaudible words, noises, and sounds that come from within our minds and systems. So go ahead and find a spot to sit or lie in a comfortable position, placing your hands to rest easily. Take a moment to settle more deeply into your body. Relax your shoulders, dropping them. Soft jaw. Noticing your breath so it can become even more easy. Allow yourself to be fully in this moment. Now bring your awareness inward to that place within you that feels most quiet and still. Take a moment to welcome your guidance team. Acknowledge them however is appropriate for you, perhaps a smile or a silent hello or a gesture of gratitude, whatever feels right. You may or may not be able to sense their presence, clairsentience. It is all just fine. Your guidance team may include ancestors, angels, spirit guides, or other loving, benevolent beings to support you. Your team is unique to you, and they work together with you and always honor your free will. Taking another breath, inviting yourself to feel supported and safe. Clairaudience is your intuitive ability to hear your guidance team, and it can show up as words, as noises, as songs, and other sounds that are silently coming from within. In the beginning, we can often dismiss this ability as our imagination, but it's not. Messages received through clairaudience and connection to your guidance team are always loving, supportive, and neutral or kind. If something sounds critical, you don't need to fix it, just notice it and return to listening for what feels calm and supportive and steady. I invite you all now to set an intention. If you choose, you can silently say aloud to your guidance team, I ask for your support in increasing my clairaudient abilities to connect with you. I'd love to connect in ways that feel safe, aligned, and right for me. We're going to begin by practicing in a familiar way. First, imagine hearing a song you know well. For many of us, the song Happy Birthday is a great one. As you imagine Happy Birthday playing in your mind, notice the voices that are singing Happy Birthday. Are they young? Are they old? Is it one or many? Take a moment and notice the volume, the speed, the rhythm. Are these voices on key or off key? You are not making this happen. You are remembering how to hear internally. Next, take a moment to imagine hearing the sound of a bird. What was it? A small bird? A seagull? A parrot? A raven? Perhaps you can imagine hearing the calls of each of these birds. Then imagine something even more subtle. Perhaps the wind moving through the trees, or the ring of a bell. These are all forms of inner hearing. Give yourself a moment to recognize, like, I already know how to do this. Now, invite forward one member of your guidance team who specializes in communication and listening. You don't need to know who they are. Trust whomever arises. They are here to practice with you. You may now ask this member of your guidance team the following questions. After each question, pause, listen gently, and allow their responses to arise in whatever way that they do. Ask them, guidance team member, do I have clairaudient abilities? How do you most like to communicate with me? What does my clairaudient guidance feel like or sound like when it is truly you? How can I tell the difference between my inner critic and your guidance? And how can I connect easily with you to hear you more clearly? There is no need to strain. If words arise, just simply receive them. If impressions arise, trust them. Or if nothing at all at this particular moment in time, that is just fine too. Now ask one final question. Member of my guidance team, What is one simple sound, noise, song, or phrase that I can listen for in the coming days to know that you are present with me? I'll say it again and listen for their response to this question. What is one simple sound, noise, song, or phrase I can listen for in the coming days to know you are present with me? However, their response comes through is just fine. They are here for you and will be working with you in the coming days to increase your awareness of your clairaudient abilities. Whatever arises is enough. Now, thank this member of your guidance team for practicing with you. Feel their support as they gently step back, never gone, simply not in the not in the foreground of your awareness. Take a moment to acknowledge your entire guidance team and the way they support you. Now bring your attention back to your body, noticing the surfaces beneath you, noticing your breath. Begin to return your awareness to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And whenever you're ready, gently opening your eyes and returning to this space and this time. All right. I am back. How was that? I am curious if anyone would like to share. Yeah, I would be super curious how that worked or didn't work. If people were able to, yeah, able to connect with their guide, one of their guides. You are so, it's always so good to have you here, Valerie. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that that was familiar to you, Kim Princess. Yeah, and doesn't surprise me in the least. Well, that was a lot. We just covered a lot of ground. And I am wondering, let's see. In our interesting labyrinthian criterion that you were saying felt guided to know simple truths. Lois, I'm looking at your comment right now. Let's see. Let's take a little dive into this for a moment. No noise or words. When I asked the easiest way to connect, I just thought of water. Oh, I wonder what that means. May try and do this again near some water and see if I get any more luck. Great, though. Oh, Lois, I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, I think that is a fantastic idea to go either, water is a great conductor of energy. It's a great conductor of energy. So whether it's near water or even just, we have all heard of shower thoughts, right? So maybe even when you're in the shower, taking a moment to see if that kind of soothing to your system allows some of the clairaudience to come through, or taking a bath. But all water is a great conductor of energy, so that can be a great way to soothe our systems and perhaps allow for a different kind of energetic flow. And I think the one other thing I'll say, Lois, is for one of my clients, it was simple as the next day that she was cooking. She was saying that she was, one of my clients was saying she was imagining cooking and she loves sauces. And so she had thought like, oh no, I don't need sauce tonight, or I don't need a sauce as a component of my meal. And she's like, but then all of a sudden I heard, right, like, oh no, more sauce is better. And so I asked her, I was like, well, how did you hear that? And she's like, oh, it just kind of felt like, my imagination, where I heard in my imagination, like, oh, more sauce is better. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's how it works in the beginning. It's that little, that feels almost like your imagination in the beginning. And as you put your attention on it, it becomes stronger and stronger. So even playing with proximity for some people, right? Where for sometimes it can feel like inside, sometimes it can feel like right outside, or even asking spirit to communicate with you through a song. And saying, hey, if you're listening, I'd love to hear this particular song, and find a way to get it to me. But I think that's a really great place to practice. And I can't wait to learn more. I can't wait to learn about what water actually means to you, and what this message around water was actually talking about. So thanks so much for participating and giving this a shot. Ooh, Evelyn, I'm seeing your comment where you say, for me, it's more intelligent than what I would come up with. And I think that's really interesting. I think what you're saying is, that it is your guidance team when the information you get is more intelligent than what you would give yourself credit for coming up with. I think that's what you mean. And that can be a really great way to know when it's your guidance team. At least for me, like, that really resonates for me, where every so often, like, it'll be a word that sort of doesn't feel like my word. Or I think there was a talk I gave probably last year and the word was it extraordinary? I can't actually remember what the word is at the moment, but it was a word I was like, oh, that's not a word I use very often. So knowing I was given that word because it wasn't mine. And so just to name that, yeah, that can be, whether it's an idea that you're like, oh gosh, that doesn't feel like my idea, or a response that is different than the way that I normally think about things. That you're exactly right. That can be a great way of knowing that it's a bit of the guidance team and that divine intervention coming in to give you a message. That's a great way to put it, Evelyn. Yeah. So with that, we are, let's see. I'm going to take a few moments and we'll do a couple of readings, see what I get from, Jeffrey, really well said. Infusions of benevolence. Especially if you got some good, like, tricky energy going on, right? Like that, like, oh, be kind, or oh, be nice. That's always a good one for those of us who have a playful spirit. For those of us that have a playful spirit. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me see what I've got going on. You know what, Lois, I'm going to go to you first. Yeah, that's a great place to start, right? The thoughts don't feel like your own. Lois, what's really great about this is I actually am feeling one of your guides present right now. And so let me see what I can get from your particular guide. In this particular case, it is a straight up spirit guide, right? Because there's different aspects of our spirit team that we talk about here in Guided Life. But I want to say that I am getting one of your guides right here. It is, this guide is telling me that it is your main guide. And I get a sense of them that your main guides always feel really substantial, like there's this substance to them. And so this guide that's coming through with a lot of substance, and a lot of gravitas, and he's coming through as masculine, as a matter of fact. He's coming through as masculine, and he's coming through in this almost like just straight up head teacher, right? Like, I'm getting very much this head teacher, and he's showing me how substantial and powerful he is. And the first thing that he's just coming through is acknowledging what a powerful path that you're on. And as part of this powerful path, just what a great student you are, right? So acknowledging what a great student you are. He's definitely confirming going and sitting by water. What he is recommending, that in sitting by water, he's showing me like you sitting down and meditating first. So running through this again, as running through this again and running through this exercise and sort of listening and paying attention. After he's saying set the timer for 10 minutes and do a meditation. And this actually goes for all of us, that meditation is a great way to increase our abilities. Oh, and part of the reason he likes this idea of you going by water, he's actually telling me there's a lot of noise going on you in general, around you in general, right? That there's a lot going on in your life. There's a lot of noise in general. And, quite honestly, as part of that noise, just a lot of thoughts, like a lot of thoughts and a lot of the, sort of just monkey mind going on. And so that process of meditating and doing a meditation first as you're welcoming in the information around clairaudience. The information around clairaudience, the meditation component of it, is going to be extremely helpful for you. And what he's also giving me is the knocks, right? Like, I'm getting knocks. And so I'm wondering if yes. So he's acknowledging that you hear knocks and that there are existing knocks. And so in your day-to-day life in the coming days, listening for knocking, knocking as a pathway in, just at that pure, as that entryway into the clairaudience, and noticing your existing clairaudience. And he's also just showing me, as you continue to lean into the knocks and the listening, the knocks and the listening and the meditation, he's telling me in no time that connection is going to be deepened. He's also giving me, I'm getting the clairsentience, just how much joy it is to work with you. So he's really excited, and just the joy to continue to deepen that relationship. He's explaining that this ability and what you're working on here with this is like a gift to yourself, right? Like it's this way of being able to give to yourself and nourish yourself. And it's going to be a really rewarding and refreshing thing to be able to bring into the situation. Yeah, exactly, love. So I'm so glad that loving and feeling the excitement. Well, that is not your imagination, and you are definitely feeling that right from your guide. Like you and your guide are like mirroring this back and forth to each other and feeling that sense of excitement, because that's him connecting with you in a clairsentient way as well, and bringing up that excitement that the two of you are working together, and he's just really happy to be in closer connection with you. So really lovely message coming through from him. Yes. All right. The other person, oh gosh, Valerie, your phone kept dinging. There you go. That is a great example of clairaudience, right? Yeah, the fact that your phone kept dinging, the technology can be a really fun way. It can be a really fun way that like the noises can work with us. So that's absolutely wonderful. Let's see, Tracy. Tracy McGinney. Let me see if we've got anyone here for you. Yeah, let's see. Okay, Tracy, what I've got showing up for you today is Lois just had her head guide. I've actually got a sub guide that's coming through for you, Tracy. And this sub guide oftentimes shows up and talks about like a particular thing that we're learning about, or a particular aspect of our personality, or a particular aspect of our personality. So let me take a moment to see what I can find out about this sub guide that's coming in. Interesting. Getting a lot around meditation today. I think that might be an overall theme for people. This particular sub-guide is coming in as a monk. And so I'm seeing this monk come in for you, Tracy. And this monk is really grounded and really centered. I'm seeing him in sort of that traditional like brown robe, sort of maybe old, is it like Benedictine monk? But yeah, like the brown robe. But I'm seeing this sort of traditional looking monk coming in. And when I tap into his energy, this guide of yours just feels very peaceful and very grounded and very much at ease. He's like that eye of the hurricane, that calm in the storm. And as I say this and I acknowledge him, what he does is he picks up a mirror and flips it to show me you, right? Like, so holding the mirror up and acknowledging that aspect of you, Tracy, that is grounded, that is calm, that is wise, that really is just it's like the oasis in the desert. And he really wants to acknowledge that aspect of you, and what a powerful influence it has on the people around you. Yeah, it's almost like the people around you, they're all lovely and whatever, but it's like I see them swirling around you and you being that calm in the middle of the storm. Um, hmm. And he's acknowledging, right, like the importance of that, but that the way that you are that calm in the middle of the storm, it's so important to make sure that you are taking time out for yourself, right? Going back to that meditation, getting the spaciousness, getting the time, getting the ability to take good care of yourself, because it is your way of being. You just being is such an important teacher and teaching element to those around you. So yet again, those things that allow you to feel calm and peaceful and connected and grounded it's super important that those practices are part of things, because it has your way of being has such a powerful way of has such a powerful influence on the people around you. I hope that helps, Tracy. And I think I have time. You are so welcome for one more before we hop off for today. Let's see what we got. Let me see what I've got. Jennifer McCormick, really interesting. Jennifer McCormick, I am actually seeing an angel come in for you. I'm seeing an angel come in for you, Jennifer McCormick. This is a project manager angel. This is an angel that is I'm just, normally I'll say like project or transition. She's just saying period of time, right? Like she's just like, no, period of time. And what's really fascinating about this angel is she is coming with gobs of flowers. So there is something going on with you right now that sounds more dramatic than I mean, but something that's going on right now in which flowers are really important, where she is surrounding you with flowers. And what she's telling me is, she's opening up a channel of communication with you through flowers. So flowers as a means of communicating. Flowers is a way of you communicating with her. So in the same way that we were talking about, like, the chime of something, like a chime potentially meaning a yes, or, or someone hearing a knock and that meaning a yes, for you to know that different flowers have different messages and meanings, and flowers are ways of your angels of this angel communicating. And I'm hearing it's just like your own unique channel of communication, so that to start working with her, to start developing your own code, right? Like, what do roses mean? What do daffodils mean? What do magnolia blossom means? That each of these things, each of these flowers is your own unique message with this angel. The thing that's even coming to mind is like Lynn, if you've ever seen any of her ribbon readings, that your ability to communicate with her through flowers is really unique and special. And she's telling me, and fragrant, right? And it smells good too. That a great place to start is actually smelly flowers, that between the symbolism, the smells, all of that, and begin to notice the flowers that your attention is called to and that are being put in your path. And and so what's really interesting is yeah, so she's also encouraging you to surround yourself with flowers, spoil yourself, indulge, buy yourself flowers, allow yourself to enjoy them, as well as noticing the ones that are being gifted to you and put on your path. That these are really powerful messengers. And I'm curious if I'm going to see if she's going to tell me anything more about this period of time and why. Oh, she's like saying this is a little bit of an extension of that messages from the enchanted realm, right? Like it is just a way to continue to fill up your world with joy and delight, and noticing the good and the beauty and the sweet that is around you. Oh wow. Oh, I got different flowers and colors, different loved ones. Oh wow. So I see Jennifer's comment is it's my mom's anniversary on Monday, and my little boy is not very well at the moment. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Jennifer. Yes, I can take the flowers for my mom and partner. I get different flowers and colors representing different loved ones. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that that sounds exactly right? Like where it's just this period of time. So it's not a transition, it's not a project. It's just this period of time of filling up your life with sweetness and knowing that you're connected and that you are loved and that the support is around for you. Oh, you're so welcome. I hope that helps, and my heart does go out to you, especially with the anniversary of your mom and with your little one not being well right now. So, yeah, and so if it so moves you, I am energetically sending you flowers right now, and hope you go out and buy some for yourself and remind just as that remembrance and that visual reminder of how loved and supported you are. All right, everyone. With that, I think it is time to give it a call for today. This is always the standing joke that Kelly, our producer, and I have is how I actually say goodbye so that she knows that I'm done with the show. The very first time I didn't know how to do it. So it was like, that's it, Kelly, we're done. So yeah, I'm not saying it quite yet, but thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your contributions, your questions. I always appreciate your feedback back and your input. And yeah, I will see you back next month. I don't know what we'll be talking about next, but we'll be back next month. All right, Kelly, thank you so much. This is it. This is my goodbye. I'm doing it. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening.